Weep Grana, Weep Ninibong, and welcome back to my channel, and today is pretty Hasbro focused. Do you remember that R.E.D is a thing? We also see that Rumble is now a Rock Lord, Megatron confirmed multiple different ways, and then finally, sometimes it's better to live in the past than look to the future, because the future is ugly. All this and much, much more coming up in the next few minutes.
And now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Kicking things off today with Hook. Hook. Yes, his name is Hook. Thank you to everybody for pointing out to me down in my comment section that I called this dude Long Haul. And his name is Hook. I think I was one coffee short of a working brain in my last video, but thank you all very, very much for pointing that out. And also for all the engagement. I think if I ever want super engagement on my videos, I need to just call a bot by the wrong name. Going forward. Might work. But thank you very much. His name is Hook. We're nearing the end of October, which means one thing: Halloween is almost upon us, and Chris Mcfeely always does a kind of Halloween-inspired version of Transformers The Basics, and this week he has released a put my teeth back in, video on the Headmaster Mindwipe. So, spooky Halloween edition of Transformers The Basics on Mindwipe. Super cool. We are going to be releasing a take on a Revenge of the Fallen Megatron here. We can see he's pretty highly detailed. Whether or not this thing transforms, I don't know, because I haven't seen an up mode for this yet. But what I can see is super detailed, especially on the inside. We can see all the mechanics and all of the workings on it. So who knows if this thing transforms, but it's rather pretty just to look at. The best cell shader in the business, Lek Customs, has now finished Trailbreaker, and they'll be releasing the video on YouTube very, very soon. Go to Lek's channel. He is criminally underwatched and undersubscribed. He always shows exactly how he goes through the process. It's super, super cool to watch. Grimlock's blue, dab and deeb and die. Grimlock's blue, dab and die. Grimlock's blue, deeb and die. Yes, NEWAGE are coming with another version of their take on Grimlock, and this time he is blue. He's not the translucent type of blue, because you can't really see through this one, apart from maybe through his little handy. But I think this is a very nice looking blue. If you like a blue Grimlock, I think this one is one of the limited edition versions that they do. This take on Grimlock is absolutely fantastic, and it's also at the legend scale. And here he is with all of his brethren. A lot of Grimlocks. This one has had a lot of releases, and more than likely they'll probably sneak a few more out before the end of the year, right? From one mold that has had loads of re-releases to one that's just getting going, their take on Wheeljack's next release will be that Malboro looking edition. Super cool. Shame they haven't really put the Malboro stuff on it. Maybe it'll come later. Maybe they'll come as added stickers. Who knows? But it's certainly an interesting take. I always like this version of Wheeljack. R.E.D. Yes, non-transforming robot-enhanced design figures from Hasbro and Takara. They are still releasing these things. I'm not sure why, but somebody out there must be collecting them, and they are releasing this take on Grimlock. It's ugly. I'm sorry, this is one of the ugliest Grimlocks I've ever seen. It makes me laugh that these things are always called robot enhanced design, and I have to say a lot of the ones that they seem to be releasing now, I've seen better versions that actually transform, and this one is definitely up there with the ones that, yeah, should not have been made. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. He is bigger than Prime though, which I guess is nice, but for me, nah, it's a fail. On Friday, Hasbro had an event, and this was their 10/27 event that had been kind of hyped for a while. For Transformers fans, in all honesty, there wasn't that much shown, but they did show their next big-ass bot, and it will be this one called Magmatron. Now, Magmatron is saying it's a commander class, but also is a combiner and all kinds of things, and I think the finished article looks okay. But you know, a lot of these third-party companies that make those kits are right now having a wet dream over this figure, because all the gaps that you can see in these bots when they're in their other modes, yeah, that's just begging for some filler pieces. So you know, right now all of those companies are rubbing their thighs going, oh, more like this one, Hasbro. It's not going to enter my collection. Let me know if you're excited about this one. For me, it's like, nah. And does it class as commander class if it's a combiner? Transformers Earthspark is still releasing figures, and they're going to be releasing this take on Bumblebee. Now, I have to say, out of all the figures they've released so far, and a lot of them have looked a little bit trashy, this one I can get on board with, especially this super cool looking, more angular version of Bumblebee. Kind of looks a little bit like what he does in the animated series, I guess, but it's certainly better than that take on Prime that he's pictured with here. I just love how angular this thing is. For me, I really do like cars that are angular. My own personal car is more angular than rounded. I'm not a big fan of rounded cars. So for this one, I really, really like it. But it does suffer from that classic Hasbro trick of not having matching hubcaps. Why, Hasbro? Why do I need to see the peg on one and not on the other? Because it just puts me off buying the figure. I don't really like the bot mode all that much. I probably may have picked it up to display in the alt mode, but I don't like it enough to have to look at those damn wheels. Now, above and beyond 1027, which was a bit of a letdown for fans, we also had in the UK, we had London's Comic-Con, and there were a few reveals that we're going to dip into a couple of the more exciting ones from that now. So what I'm showing you is the pictures from the event itself, where we got things like a new Starscream, and then also that Megatron was confirmed. Kicking off first then with Scorponok from Rise of the Beasts, which we can see in its alt mode and its bot mode as well. From what I remember about the movie, it mainly spent a lot of its time in its alt mode rather than the bot mode, as did most of the beasts within the movie. So I guess if you want a good representation of this one is okay, I guess. But yeah, I think again the hype for this movie is pretty dead, so I don't know how well these will sell. Earlier on in the week though, we did get a bit of a leak around a new take on Starscream based around the War for Cybertron Gamer Edition. And yeah, straight away when you look at it, you're like, there's something not quite right with this one. I'm sure I've seen a better version of this. He does come with a massive mace and a long gun. The alt mode is horrifying. I really do not like the alt mode on this one. It comes in some nice packaging though, which is good. However, some people have gone a little bit deeper on this topic, and massive shout out to Nave Scoob here, who did a real good deep dive on this figure. So they managed to get some of these images that we've already seen from the product reveals and then compared them to some other figures. So you can see where it is with Megatron, and okay, it's about the same height. Sure, Megatron should be bigger, but let's just take a peek at this one. So this is what we got back in 2012 versus what we're gonna get now. And yes, 2024 version is bigger, but I have to say, the smaller version looks closer to what we actually got on the screen. Size is not everything, and Hasbro definitely need to learn this, because for me, it looks ugly. Also, as we'll see later on, those top pieces, those shoulder pieces there, they fit on after the fact. They are kind of parts forming pieces. When we look at it from the back as well, I have to say, again, the 2012 version here just wins. And alt mode wise, 2012 wins all day long, because I do not know what on earth is going on with the alt mode. If we actually just look at the game version here, we can see the CAD drawings, and then when we look at what he should have looked like, yeah, you start to see what the problems are here, right? It should never be that thin. That chest there shouldn't be that thick. Sorry, it needs to be thinner for it to look like the game. So yeah, we're now in the future, but we need to go back to the past to get a decent version of this. Gamer things that have come out so far, I've really liked quite a lot of them. This one, yeah, this is a pass from me. Then Rumble, the Bumblebee take on Rumble, is also coming as a smaller version of it, and I think this version looks great. His face and his body really have kind of Combaticon Bruticus vibes for me. But this alt mode, what are they doing? I think they are desperately trying to bring back Rock Lords without actually bringing back Rock Lords, because that is ugly. And does that fit into or onto Soundwave at all? That is terrible. Hasbro laziness at its finest. Just call him a Rock Lord and then you might get away with it a little bit better. Decepticon Mowhawk is also making its way to the Studio Series line. I think this is also going to be at that core class. And overall it does look okay. The alt mode looks okay, but I think the same with all of the core class stuff, right? It's okay. Nah, I don't know who's collecting the core class. I'm certainly not. The core class Megatron for me is the only one that's actually been very good. And speaking of Megatron, he is coming. So we are getting the concept drawings from Megatron that should have come in Rise of the Beasts. We are going to get him in a figure mode, and he is going to be a triple changer with 2 okay modes and 1, hand glider, paraglider. The next thing that you're going to be able to buy in Fortnite, I'm not sure what that third mode is, but again, we've had a few people doing a bit of a deep dive here. So shout out to King Samlock on Instagram. Go and give them a follow if you want to get some Transformers updates as well. And they showed the journey that Megatron has been on from the screen, kind of, to the figures. And I just want to spend some time here to look at what we could have won. Look at how good these alt modes could have been. The hang glider we can see is more of a kind of fighter plane-esque thing, but look at that tank. That is a beautiful tank. It looks like it's actually been designed by the team that make those porno bots, right? Those booba bots, that Firebird company. That tank looks like it could have been designed by them, and it is beautiful. Hey, big Firebird, stop making booba bots and make that tank. Make this Megatron with that tank. I know you have the wits and the capabilities to do that. Hasbro, Takara, again, show us something good, but we just get old boxy bots. Shame. So that is everything from me on this Transformers Sunday. Now, unless something major happens, I won't be making a video on Tuesday because I'm over in Amsterdam for the day on Tuesday, but I will be coming back the same night, so I may make a video on Wednesday, just depends on how busy I am. If you are still hungry to find out what it is I'm doing and what I'm doing, you can follow me in my shorts, where in my shorts I am playing Transformers Devastation, the best Transformers game ever. And I don't care what you say. And if you're new around here, you can think about giving me a like, a share, and a subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Alright, team, in a bit. Peace!